Hey guys, and welcome back to Dragon Ball Daima Reviews. This time, the second to last episode, episode 19, Betrayal. We continue where we left off with Glorio making his wish, and as to nobody's surprise, it's him wishing for them all to become adults again, or go back to their normal. We don't know exactly how he worded the wish. Maybe someone out there knows Namekian and can translate it. I probably could if I cared enough. And I do care, but I'm not going to. Anyways, we get glorious animation of them returning back to their normal forms. And they gotta say, just the animation in this episode, top notch. They really saved all the good shit for this stuff. Not that the rest of the season wasn't good, it was, but this is peak. Vegeta gets cranky, and we get his glorious adult Super Saiyan 3. And wow, one thing I gotta say is that not only did it look great, but there was a huge difference in their base level powers between child and adult. I knew that when they got wished down to a kid, they got nerfed because of their size, but throughout the series, you didn't really get a huge implication that their power had diminished. It was probably like implied, but never directly stated. So seeing Vegeta just going toe-to-toe in his base form compared to how he was handling it as Super Saiyan as a kid, like, there's just a world of difference there. And then when he went Super Saiyan 3, to me it felt as if they were implying that his Super Saiyan 3 was stronger than Goma, but like, the fact that Goma is like an android and he just keeps recovering and can keep channeling power that's on par, you know, it doesn't really do anything. You can't beat an unstoppable force, basically, no matter how strong you are. And that's what the show is trying to get us to think. His power could also be correlated to his size, because it seems like he hits harder the bigger he is, which, you know, kind of obvious, you know, physically hitting harder. I mean, like, his power seems to be scaling with his size. I could be just guessing at that here, but that's just my thoughts. But anyways, Vegeta rocks his shit, and he does it beautifully, giving us a final flash, giving us everything, and just doing service to Super Saiyan 3. Daima's done a world of service to Super Saiyan 3. And then, you know, everyone realizes that they can't beat him as is, and they need a plan, and they're looking for openings and all that. And Arinsu shows up, and she's like, I'm not helping you for you, I'm helping you for me, which is obvious because, you know, she wants to be Demon Realm Queen and all that. And we find out that the weakness is to hit him in the back of the head 3 times, which, interesting weakness, sounds very Toriyama, very kind of thought out, but not really. I mean, I guess it makes sense. The third eye's in the front of the forehead, hitting on the back would make it jolt out, especially with how it was able to be plopped in and apparently plopped out. But anyways, that's not really super important. It's the MacGuffin that's going to help them save the day. One important thing we learned is finally the relationship between Glorio and Arinsu. We obviously knew that he was working for her. We didn't know why. We didn't get the full story, but all we got was she helped him out of the third demon world. I'm guessing he was up there struggling to survive and showed some kind of aptitude, whether it's with his mind or with his combat or both. And she was like, alright, you're hired, do this for me. And obviously he had a change of heart and switched sides, and he said, sorry, I appreciate everything you've done. It's actually very nice. Like, Arinsu was not gonna be like, I'm gonna kill you. She's got a touch of nice humanity in her, and she just doesn't like to admit it. I was very happy with how they did this. I want to know a little more about Glorio, but maybe we'll get that in the future. One thing, though, that I think a lot of people thought hilarious was when Bulma called down Vegeta and was like, you're not going to be able to take a bath with me if you don't stop fighting. Like, ah, man. Vegeta was a gentleman earlier, saying he wouldn't touch Bulma as a kid, which was great, but we also see that he has his needs, and it's hilarious that Bulma's like calling him out like that in front of everybody. He's gonna probably be so shy, and I can so see Goku teasing him over that, like with the scene in Battle of Gods where he goes, my Bulma, and Goku teases him for that. Man, he's a lover boy, and we all knew it, but like, boy does it really show sometimes because of Bulma. Anyway, Goku shows up, and he, you know, gives us the whole treat. He does the harkening back to the Buu Saga, because that's what this whole entire thing is, a harken back to the Buu Saga with a touch of GT. Well, actually, more than a touch, but he goes, this is my Super Saiyan. This is Super Saiyan 2. And I could be wrong, but I think he even, like, this is beyond 2, you know, referencing 3. I don't know if I got the words right there, but, you know, he does the thing from the Buu Saga where he goes 1, 2, 3, and then he's like, a little bit extra. And then the internet collectively lost their shit when he went Super Saiyan 3 shirtless, and then goes up to 4. Now, let's talk about that for a sec. Goku accessing Super Saiyan 4 without Neva. It's just, it's for canon, it's rough. If he only does it in Daima, like I said previously, and only in the Demon Realm, then you could make the argument that, like, he's just being able to access it now and Goku as Goku when he fought Beerus was able to absorb the God power and channel it, and maybe that's what he's doing here again with Super Saiyan 4, but hopefully it's like temporary, because again, if Super Saiyan 4 exists outside of Daima, then why didn't he use it? And I know a million other people are saying the same exact thing, and there's got to be a retcon or something, or we don't know, but we'll find out within the next episode, and I've been saying that we're going to find out, and we're not finding out, which is what's concerning me, because there's a good chance they might just leave it alone and not be mentioned. I'm hoping that's not what happens, but it's very possible. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta doesn't look like it's happening. It could be. If you want to see my take of that, I posted a video the other day of what it would look like in my sprite style. Go check that out. There's a lot of questions about how this is going to wrap up. Is Neva going to pull that on Vegeta and they're both going to go Super Saiyan 4 and beat the crap out of him and get the eye that way? Is it going to be some trickery? We'll find out. There's not a whole lot to say about this episode story-wise besides just people punching each other Dragon Ball Z style and a lot of cool action, and there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I don't know. How this finale goes is gonna be important to the lore of Dragon Ball. Like I've said before, it's going to go one of two ways. Daima's going to be either continuing into the canon because they've, referenced canon materials and expanded on the lore, and that's fine, but Super Saiyan 4's got to make sense somehow that way. Or it's just not going to be canon at all, and that would be a real shame. Toei might not even care about canon or not. These companies don't always care about that. Sometimes you get, Nintendo doing the Zelda timeline and trying to make everything work. Sometimes you just get Sonic where they're like, oh yeah, it's all a part of it. And, that's nothing wrong with that. But there's different approaches to storytelling, and I don't know what they're going to go with. We'll find out. We're now in the era of Dragon Ball where Toriyama doesn't exist in it anymore. This was the last thing he was in. Unless Toriyama left it to be seen by fans and by everyone, this is what my intentions are, it's going to be up to the companies. And also up to Toyotaro. So we can only hope for the best, that it pleases everyone. But it's not impossible. You can do it. You can make everybody happy. And Daima is, for the most part, making everybody happy. The last two episodes have crashed Crunchyroll just like Ultra Instinct did, just like Dragon Ball has done. So overall, I think Daima is going to be an amazingly remembered series. There are people who hate it, and I've seen it, and I disagree with them. Their takes are usually not very well thought out, putting it nicely. There was one other thing I wanted to discuss before we wrap this up. We saw the Dragon Ball split and go off as they normally do. Where did they go? In this shot, you see that Tamagami number 1 didn't get the 1-star back. I'm going to assume that 2 and 3 also didn't get theirs back. Maybe they got scattered around the first Demon Realm world because, that's what it looked like from the visual. But I would hope that they got scattered between the 3 Demon worlds because 3 Dragon Balls, 3 worlds, 3 guys. So we don't know. Maybe they'll answer that too. Maybe they won't. We'll see. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week for the finale. Peace.